Hello, good afternoon, Tribuners. Welcome back with me, Mutiara, in Indonesian News of Tribun Lampung. We will present you an updating and interesting information from every place in Indonesia. And here are the complete news. The first news comes from North Sulawesi. A young mother killed her child who is still a toddler. 23 years old AI, a mother in North Minasaha Regency, North Sulawesi, had the heart to kill her 1.5 years old child. After killing his daughter, AA surrendered himself to the Tikala sector police. At the time of the incident, the victim's father was not at home because he had gone to sell in Manado City since the 3rd of August 2022. Reported by Tribun Manado from the information of the caregiver of the 36 years old victim AM, AA had time to bribe the victim. AA then took her two children, including the victim, into the room. At the time, said AM, the door to the room was closed. AM then bats the child who is the victim's cousin. After that, AA called AM and told him to come into the room. When he entered the room, AM found the toddler was already in lifeless condition. Meanwhile, AA had changed clothes and was about to go to the police station to surrender. Because he did not have credit to call the victim's father, AM then informed the neighbors about the incident. The incident was immediately reported to village officials and the police. After the incident, the perpetrator immediately surrendered himself to the Tikala sector police. Furthermore, AA was picked up by a police personnel from the Dimembe sector. Fadli said that his party had examined the victim's father, SC, who was 38 years old. SC said he left home since August 3, 2022 to sell in Manado City. When he left home, his wife and two children, as well as the nanny, were in a good health. However, on Thursday, August 4, 2022, as he got a call from a neighbor, he was told that his second child had died. As he also got word that his wife left the house. Upon arrival at home, SC found his son is in a lifeless condition with suspicious signs on his face and body. The victim's father then tried to contact AA, but the call was not picked up. Not long after that, he received a message via WhatsApp that reported that AA had turned himself into the Tikala sector police. The next news is, 3 teenagers become suspect in illegal theft of 10 gas cylinders. The Belitung Criminal Investigation Unit, the Belitung Resort Police, arrested 3 suspects in the illegal theft of 12 kilograms of gas cylinder at the Timpo Duluk restaurant, Pilang Street, Dukong Village on Wednesday, August 3, 2022. Worse, the 3 perpetrators are still 14 years old, namely the initial FAR, SG, and FKY. In fact, the 2 of them are still junior high school students. He explained that the chronology of the incident began when the reporter Koto Riyade was preparing lunch for consumers at the Timpo Duluk restaurant on Thursday, July 29, 2022. When you see the gas cylinder in the kitchen, it is no longer visible with the condition of the regulator hose hanging. Then after checking in the storage warehouse, there were still 2 cylinders left, even though, as the reporter recalled it, there were still many gas cylinders. Feeling awkward, the complainant informed the restaurant owner and immediately checked the CCTV in the kitchen. It turned out that the perpetrator entered through a glass window and was transported by car at 12 a.m. o'clock. The car belongs to the parents of one of the perpetrators. After receiving the police report, the Arsenal team of the Belitung Criminal Investigation Unit, the Belitung Resort Police, checked the CCTV footage and asked for witness statements. Based on these clues, the police immediately searched for the whereabouts of the perpetrator. The next news is, fake coup in Ambon face up to 4 years in prison. After sufficient evidence and information, in FLW perpetrator who disguised himself as a fake police officer in Ambon has now been named a suspect. FLW is charged with ongoing fraud and or embezzlement articles, as referred to in Article 378 of the Criminal Code and or Article 372 of the Janto Criminal Code, Article 64 of the Criminal Code. The penalty for FLW is 4 years in prison. He continued, from the result of the temporary development, apart from the 3 victims of AFKS, SL and GU, it turned out that 3 were 13 other victims. Reportedly, the Criminal Investigation Unit of the Ambon Island Resort Police arrested a man who confessed and disguised himself as a member of the traffic police. The fake traffic police officer is known to have the initial FLW alias A. FLW was arrested because several victims reported their action to the Ambon Island Resort Police for cheating. The next news is, one family in Northraja dies in fire. One family died in a fire on street Poros Londa, Lembang Sangbua, Kesu, Northraja on Friday, August 5, 2022. Namely, Grandma Sela is 50 years old, Noviani Nova is 30 years old, Aprilia Sela is 4 years old, and Aprilia Cheryl is 5 months old. According to witness testimony, Johnny Patimang alias Papa Jane, the incident occurred at around 9:30 p.m. While he was putting his son to sleep, Johnny heard popping sounds repeatedly. Out of curiosity, he looked for the source of the sound and saw that Mr. Jonathan's house was on fire. He ran to the crime scene shouting for help from residents. In fact, he ventured to save the occupants of the house by breaking through the kitchen. However, because the door to the house was locked and the fire spread very quickly, Johnny decided to call other residents. It is known the house only has one door as access to enter and leave the house, namely the kitchen door. In addition, the windows of the house are installed with iron bars so that access is only through the main door. Another witness said he arrived at the scene after hearing cries for help. When the residents arrived, they could only surrender because the fire was already very big. The fire brigade arrived at the location shortly after receiving the residents' report. 6 firefighters were dispatched to deal with the incident. However, the fire can only be controlled in about an hour. When the fire was extinguished, the lives of 4 occupants of the house could not be saved. It is estimated that the material loss suffered is estimated at around 150 million rupiah. The next news is, Innova car was badly damaged after being involved in an accident. Driver must be vigilant when driving because accidents often occur due to human error. Like the accident that occurred on Street Soekarno-Hatta or precisely in front of the Pangkalan Barsector Police Pangkal Pinang, Bangka Belitung Island Province on Friday, August 5, 2022. It is suspected that the driver fell asleep while driving the pickup with the police number BN-X754PQ collided with an Innova car with license plate number BN1175BO. This accident was conveyed by the head of the news-based police sector Joko Murtono when confirmed by Bangkapos.com regarding a traffic accident that occurred at around 10 o'clock p.m. When the incident occurred at the scene of the accident, it was seen that the tires of the pickup car were above the median of the road. This also confirmed that suspicions that the pickup car had hit the median of the road so that it was in the opposite line. The incident resulted in the Innova car being badly damaged at the front until the windshield was shattered. Meanwhile, the driver of the car was trapped in the collision. Meanwhile, the driver of the pickup car and one other passenger also experiences the same thing, but all of the victims have been taken to Depati Hamzah General Hospital for medical treatment. The next news is, 3 students become victims of the persecution by 20 gangsters. The Semarang City Resort Police arrested the perpetrator of the beating of 3 cadets at the AMNI Semarang Shipping Campus. Of the 20 perpetrators who carried out the beatings, the police are currently still arresting 5 perpetrators. The incident began when the perpetrators gathered around the BK Market, Ngemplak Simongan, West Semarang. They drank liquor, then agreed to find enemies by going around the city of Semarang. The gangster number 20 then traveled around the city on 11 motorbikes. The 3 victims had just returned home from a rice stall on Street MH Tamrin, Semarang, Sunday, July 31st, 2022 at around 2 o'clock a.m. The 3 victims returned home by motorbike across the intersection of the street Gajah Mada Semarang near the Tantrum Hotel Semarang. At that location, the victims were shot at by the perpetrators. The victims thought that it was their friend who shot it at them, so they slowed down the motorbike. Arriving at the empty Haryono traffic light, suddenly someone injured the victim using a sharp weapon on the victim's helmet. Seeing the attack, the victims were frightened and then tried to run away. At first, they will pass through Street Kartini, finally choosing to turn to Street Dr. Cipto Semarang. Not satisfied with just one less, the perpetrators chased the victims. Unfortunately, the fate of the victim Julius, who fell due to being crushed by the perpetrators. The victim fell into the pavement in front of Peluk's Bank Street Dr. Cipto Semarang. Another group of suspects followed it and used sharp weapons to injure the victim. The other 2 victims, out of fear, ran to hide in the sewers. The 3 victims were Julius Agung, a resident of Tayan Hulu Hamlet, West Kalimantan. He was rushed to the KRMT Wongsonegoro General Hospital Semarang. And then Kori Andika, a resident of Lubuk Resam, Sarolangun Jambi, was injured. And then Bayu Wahana Saputra, a resident from South Lampung, was injured. After the incident, the police are looking for the perpetrators. So far, only 5 perpetrators have been caught. The last news is, Pondok Airport officially serves commercial flight. Pondok Cabe Airport officially served the inaugural commercial flight for the Purbalingga and Cepu Blora Central Java routes starting on Friday, August 5, 2022. The inaugural flight was inaugurated directly by the chairman of the People's Consultative Assembly of the Republik Indonesia Bambang Susatyo and President Director of Lion Air Group Daniel Putut Kunchoro Adi. Also present at the location were the three Deputy Ministers of Tourism and Creative Economy Vincentius Jemadu, Blora Region Arif Rahman, and other Wings Air officials. During the inauguration, Bambang Susatyo admitted that he had long fought for the existence of a mode of transportation to areas that had access constraints. He hopes that the flights to a number of areas in Central Java can have a positive impact on the regional economy. In addition, the figure, who was familiarly called Bamsud, explained that the pioneering flight commitment is so crucial. However, he assessed that the flight costs applied were still high. Furthermore, Bamsud explained that the increase in tickets occurred in line with the high price of airplane fuel, which affected ticket prices. Meanwhile, commercial flights at Pondok Airport are held once a week, namely every day. The airline that serves this flight is Wings Air. For the inaugural flight, Wings Air will serve the flight route from Pondok Cabe to Purbalingga on August 5, 2022 at 20 minutes past 8 a.m. and arrive at 9:30 a.m. Then on the same day, the Wings Air Airline serve flights from the Purbalingga to Pondok Cabe at 10 minutes to 10 a.m. and arrive at 11 o'clock a.m. Well, I think that's all the news for today with me, Mutiara. Don't forget to follow us in YouTube Tribun Lampung News Video, Tribun Lampung Facebook, Tribun Lampung Instagram, and Tribun Lampung TikTok for further information. And for you who live in Lampung, don't forget to come and join with us in Tribun Lampung Award 2022 and Festival UMKM in Saburai Field on 10 until 14 August 2022. Now, thank you for watching and have a nice day.